Hello, BookTube. Well, we come to it at last. That horrible time, the last mail haul of the week. It's only three packages, it's not much, and the first one is tiny. It feels too small even to be a slim volume of poetry. I don't know what it could be. Maybe a book on tape, something like that, a CD. But let's take a look. Uh, okay. It's from the New York Review of Books, from the people at the New York Review of Books. It is the end of summer, 1967, by Uwe Johnson. An excerpt from Anniversaries, uh, which is forthcoming from the NYB and the NYRB Classics line. So this is an excerpt from a longer book that they're going to do. That's I've never seen them do that before. That's odd. Uh, uh, what do we look for in a great novel? The things we want from any good book, I suppose: memorable characters, events, sentences, words. Pub sheet leaves out giant prehistoric killer sharks. Must be an oversight. But we want something more than that, too. We want a book so unusual and engaging that we're not just pleased that it is good, but continually surprised that it exists at all. That's good. Where did it come from? This is amazing. Next fall, New York Review of Books will publish the first complete English translation of one of the great books of the last 50 years, Uwe Johnson's Anniversaries. A great book and a great big book. NYRB's Anniversaries will come in a two-volume box set spanning 2,000 pages. Well, that explains the excerpt. The biggest single publication we have ever undertaken. Wow. Okay, so it follows a 34-year-old emigre from East Germany who works at a bank in New York City and is the single mother of a 10-year-old Marie living on the Upper West Side. A much different place in the 1960s than it is now, which I can attest to. So I guess this is kind of interesting as a marketing standpoint. This is the uh, public will never see this. The two volume box set will be $35, and it will be the whole book. This is just an excerpt, I guess, to soften the ground for critics who might be a little leery of the whole thing, because you get something that big, you have a chance of scaring off reviewers that you're going to want, because it's going to be a tough case to make to the public. But so that's interesting. That's very interesting. I don't think I'll read the excerpt. I myself am not afraid of 2,000 page books. So, but it's interesting to have, especially since I didn't know the book was coming. Uh, okay, uh, I think we've seen this before. This is the finished copy. Comes out right at the end of the year. This is In the Fall They Come Back by Robert Bausch. This is the finished copy, has blurbs on them all over it. It's a contemporary novel about upper middle class Connecticut divorce. Uh, a brilliantly observed prep school novel about fraught teacher student relationships and about coming into adulthood. Fresh out of grad school, with an amazing law exam score, Ben Jameson expects that he would be just biding his time in his first job as an English teacher at a small private school. But Ben's desire to save his students very quickly challenges his career in more ways than one. Set in the beautiful country landscape of Northern Virginia in the 1980s, Robert Bausch's latest novel is not a story about teaching, but about human nature. Ben's Christ complex lures him into trying to save the lives of a boy from an abusive family, a mute girl, and an 18-year-old attempting to graduate for the last time. Yeah, I think we did see this before, and I think I might have the advanced copy here, but I haven't got to it, and I obviously have to because it's a 2017 release. So, and then we have this last package of the week. We'll find something to do tomorrow. I'll probably spend the time complaining. Uh, oh, very nice. Oh, very nice. Okay, this comes out in early January. I have been looking forward to this because the UK press, the UK reaction to it has been wonderful and also interesting in a way that I really like. This is Ian Sinclair, The Last London. Look at that. It's gold inlaid. Isn't that pretty? And it just goes along the spine, which is also gold inlaid, and then to the back. Very nice. Very nice. Uh, uh, let's see here. The cover blurb is Alan Moore, the comic book writer Alan Moore, and it's crazy as you might expect from Alan Moore. The cover blurb is in a career of masterpieces. This is Sinclair's masterpiece. Well, what does that mean? That literally means nothing. That's okay. But let's see if we have a manageable description of this. Um, Ian Sinclair has been documenting the peculiar magic of London, the river city that absorbs and obsesses him, for most of his adult life. In this, the final chapter in Sinclair's odyssey through the streets of the city, we find a mesmerizing record of secret scholars and whispering ghosts, of disturbing encounters, night hospitals, pits that become cameras, mole man labyrinths, and privileged swimming pools up in the clouds patrolled by surveillance helicopters. Where now are the myths, the ultimate fictions of a many times revisited city? Traveling from the pinnacle of the Shard to the outer limits of the London Overground system at Croydon and Barclay, from the Thames estuary to the future ruins of Olympicopolis, Sinclair reflects on where London began and where it ends. A memoir, a critique, and a love letter, The Last London stands as a delirious conclusion to a truly epic project. And the conclusion bit, you take it with a bit of a grain of salt, because I've heard all sorts of stuff about this book, and the universal refrain has been that you don't need to read any of the other things that Sinclair has looked at. It's reflecting on my face. It's so gold laid. That's so neat. The refrain is that you don't have to read the rest of his musings along these lines to read this book and like it, and that's what I intend to do. I'm not going to go fishing for those other books. I'm going to take this on its own merits. So that's it. It's totally the made-up stories. It's The Last London by Ian Sinclair. Very happy to have that. In the fall, they come back. A boarding school, prep school novel that does intrigue me. And then this thing, a little 60-page excerpt from a 2,000-page book coming out later, designed to whet the appetite of leery reviewers. Very interesting. All right, so that's it. That's our last mail haul of the week, and we'll be on to other stuff. Well, I don't even know if I'm going to wait for the sun to come up. I might just make videos all night long in between books. But I'll see you again soon. Thank you, BookTube.